I was gonna step into the ring, but then I got high. I was gonna hit a Superman punch, but then I got high. I'm gone now for 30 days, and I know why. Hey, man, because I got high, because I got high, because I got high.
Wow, what a way to start the show. Ben would never have allowed that, but it's happening because Ben's not here. It's Elliot in charge for tonight and tonight only. And I'm joined by Eric, as ever, who made a nice little song about Roman Reigns, who has been suspended for violating WWE's WWE's wellness policy.
Look,
a bombshell.
Look, on the weekend when me and Roman were hanging out, man, he said it was cool. Vince hooked up the rolling papers. I don't see what the issue is right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You said it was cool, Roman. You said it was cool.
Man, you've robbed us of so many a great main event.
There's going to be so many ladies absolutely furious. Do you hear that sound? That's the sound of vaginas drying up because that triple threat is out the window now.
Do you think, is that what you think is going to be the big takeaway from this? Is Reigns going to get punished once he returns, or is the wellness policy ample punishment enough for somebody who has violated it?
Well, I'm thinking for the immediate future, it has to be over, right? Like the pay-per-view is less than 30 days away, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's on the 26th of July, so no, it's not.
So he would be back just in time.
He would be back just in time, but he would not be part of the build, which is problematic, to say the least.
To say the least, yeah. Man, I just like this. Literally just happened. We just before we started recording. So the implications alone of all of this. Oh,
the length of. I mean, we've been big fans of Roman Reigns on this podcast
for Roman.
He has
even more now that I know we have the same kind of hobbies.
He's been delivering some of the best main events in recent history. Really, he's been smashing these main events out of the park. And yeah, sure, you could argue that he's been put in there with good guys and he's been given time and build. But regardless of that, he's still been delivering top quality performances month after month, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. And now it's after although we've been the fans of Reigns and we've appreciated him and really dug him, but
there's a whole
lot of people who hate him, and Vince McMahon has pushed him in spite of that for the past, really since the Royal Rumble in 2015, sort of when Daniel Bryan made his announcement that he was returning and everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to win. And it was really since then the fans really turned against Roman Reigns. And just on Raw on Monday night, they were chanting, "You can't wrestle him," sort of thing. And then he snapped at them. Maybe it was roid rage.
And like you said, we've been big supporters of Reigns on this podcast. But there is an entire legion of fans that were just waiting for something like this to happen to feel validated. It's like, Roman does suck. But oh God, this is just what horrible timing. There's never really a good time to get suspended from your job. But
it's the worst time in terms of the storyline implications.
Yeah, exactly. This was going to be a hot angle. They were going to push this heavily. And
this was the angle that people have been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, the response last night on Twitter for when all three of them were in the ring was just, people have been wanting this for a really, really long time. And now with this, it's going to give the haters, the Roman haters, even more ammunition. He basically stole their dream match.
He did.
Which kind of makes me like Reigns a little bit more. Well done, you made the internet cry.
I'm pretty good about this because obviously, like a lot of other people, was wanting to see this triple threat match. It's been something that as soon as the Shield broke up, everybody was sort of saw this on the horizon and were desperate for it to happen.
Yeah.
But you know, they've built it over the past 18 months, and rightly so. But it is now. It was a reality. It was happening.
Yep.
And but at the same time, you can't have any sympathy for him. It's not clear whether he's not claimed that this was an accident. He's tweeted that I apologise to my family, friends, and fans for my mistake in violating WWE's wellness policy. No excuses, I own it. So that suggests that he may have known what he was doing. I mean, that's my take from the tweet. I don't know about yours.
No, I mean, like that's him basically coming out and saying, yeah, I know I fucked up. I know I did wrong. That's basically him admitting it. Like, that's an admission if ever I've seen one. So
yeah, the subtext is that that's undoubtedly an admission of guilt, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't have, if he knew he was doing it, you can't have any sympathy with him, and he should have known better, considering the positions that he's been put on in for the past, really, since he debuted. Even right at the beginning of the Shield days, he was the guy who was pushed heavily amongst Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose as the big breakout star. And then when inevitably they did break up, he was the guy who went immediately into the title picture and had 2 WrestleMania main events back to back.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he's making it 3 in a row now.
And the thing that, like you said, like, if personally, like my use of weed is well documented now. Thanks Ben, and but like, you know, if at the level that he's at, in the position that he's in, if you tell me tomorrow morning, like, okay, we'll give you 1 million subs, but you can never touch another joint your entire life. That's it. I'm done. Like, I'll be put in the position that I want to be, and that I'm done with the other stuff. You know, so I have absolutely no sympathy for anybody in the position that Roman would be in, not just Reigns himself, but anybody in that position who can just, you know, is it worth it? Is it worth like the public embarrassment and you know, the being off TV and having your future potentially in jeopardy? Like, this is these guys' dreams. Like, I don't understand. And then you compare, you know, society and all this, but still, I mean, come on, get your head on straight.
Yeah, I just imagine Vince McMahon's absolutely furious.
Oh, I would love to be in his fucking office right now, just a fly on the wall, because I wouldn't want him to see me because I'd be afraid of getting murdered. But my God, the rage in that office must be inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, the amount we've invested in him is.
That's exactly it. Like, they've basically been just pushing and pushing and pushing, and fans have been basically pushing in the opposite direction. And now he fucks them over like this. Like, God damn, Roman. You know, career suicide 101. How to ruin your career in 5 easy steps.
Well, I mean, we'll discuss that now. I mean, do you think that, we'll discuss it a bit more in depth, do you think that this is going to have any long-term implications on his career? Because historically, a guy like Randy Orton, who was, I know he wasn't pushed as the guy, but he was pushed as a top guy, and that's just a case of semantics and the differences. Really, he was pushed as a top main eventer.
Yeah,
and
you blocked Orton versus Cena out of your memory. Like, that happened how many times in the main event? So there you go, like, still a top guy.
He obviously violated the wellness policy kind of pretty early into his run, and he was suspended. It didn't really seem to have too many negative ramifications.
If anything, if there are any consequences, I think he'll be more used as an example, as a, like, you know, like, this can happen to you no matter what position you're in the company. But that's like, I think, if anything, if any ramifications, will be short term. I don't think long. I think they've invested too much time and too much, like, effort into Reigns to just, well, he fucked up, so we're going to give up. So I think Randy Orton is a perfect example here of violating the wellness policy, but still being able to recover.
Yeah, and I think that, considering all they've invested in him, it will be surprised if this really was harmful to his career long term.
Yeah,
I think that is in the bigger picture, it's a minor aberration that could be overlooked in 10 years' time, and people won't really remember it. But I mean, Vince McMahon's a petty guy, and he's got a history of being very petty in situations.
That's true.
In situations that don't necessarily warrant it.
Or maybe Triple H is going to take out his curtain call frustrations on Reigns, and they're going to just make him send him down to the bottom of the card and have him job to, I don't know, like Kalisto or something.
Oh man, could you imagine him bringing him back and then having him do a load of jobs? That'd be. It's such a shame, but no, you can't have any sympathy with him. Especially if he knows that he's done it, and judging from his tweet, it looks like he's done it. I mean, we can go on to discuss some other things now. I mean, there's going to be an eye on Roman Reigns and the obvious implications in the storylines.
If anything, it's made this whole Shield triple threat build to Battleground a little bit more interesting. Not that it wasn't already, but.
I mean, with the brand split, I'm sure they were obviously planning on pushing him as the face of.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The 19th, his suspension is going to be. Oh, I didn't even think of that. See, there's so many things to think about and to consider here with so much going on. Oh wow, what a fucking absolute fuck!
It's difficult to process the amount of levels that this affects.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like we said, like this just happened, so we're kind of like spitballing as we go here. Like we talked about it maybe 5-10 minutes beforehand, but there's so many different areas of the business and of what's going on in the future that Roman Reigns was surely going to be a part of, and he's still going to be, but he won't be for that initial brand split. Like he's not going to be there.
I guess with the back to the Randy Orton comparison. I might be wrong, but I don't feel like Randy Orton was pushed as the type of guy who's making media appearances, charity appearances, sort of promoting WWE's philanthropic endeavors. So, I mean, I guess it would the situation would be more similar to Cena do it, violating the wellness policy.
Yeah. Although, my God, could you imagine that? Let's not even get into that. The what ifs of when we have so much to deal with right now. So maybe one day we'll get into the what if Cena violated the wellness policy. But
WWE is a very different place.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we start? This is completely thrown off the notes. Nobody was expecting this. This is such huge news.
That's the podcast. Bye, guys.
Yeah, I don't really know where to go from this. I mean, I guess we can talk about Money in the Bank, but it all seems so trivial now.
Yeah, it all seems to not really matter compared to what we just discussed, because the implications of those pay-per-views have now completely changed.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I think it's worth discussing.
That's what the people want, and that's what we do here. We give the people what they want.
Yeah, they've come for the hot takes, well, lukewarm takes.
Mild opinions here on the show.
That's what you get, guys. Our scheduling only allows us to provide lukewarm takes. If you want the hot takes, you can follow Eric on Twitter at MTL Broski. He watches Raw Live every week.
And I have a nervous breakdown almost.
And he has some hot takes.
I think incendiary things sometimes.
Exactly. You know where to go if you want them hot takes. To Money in the Bank then, I guess. I mean, in the notes, we've got Enzo. We'll start with a tag. The fatal four way. There's nothing really worth dwelling on the pre-show.
No, not really.
I thought that I saw the Golden Truth versus Breezango match, and it's just people were like genuinely disgusted that they were having to be subjected to this. And I'm like, I think guys, lighten up, man. It's just a bit of fun.
I didn't see the match, but when I was on Twitter, I saw a couple pictures of Breezango all all burnt. And I thought it, man, I wish I watched it. That looked funny. Like, I
It
don't
was funny.
understand.
Fucking Tyler Breeze was selling chops like he just been shot. It was hilarious. And
The thing
people,
is, especially with these four guys and these two tag teams, I don't understand it. Whenever they go on screen, it's almost as if people take these segments as a personal insult, and I just don't understand it. Like, it's just a little bit of fun. It's a 3-hour show. Do we have to be serious for 3 hours? Like, I don't get it. Like, I love these guys' work. I think it's great. It has a place on the show.
People crave this long-term storytelling, and they get in it. Like it's a long-term storyline. It's will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? They eventually did, but they sucked. And then when the final, and then they worked it out. They had a little bit of a rough patch at the beginning because they weren't sure it was the right thing to be doing. And then
stuck together.
But they stuck together, right? Wrote it out. And then they got the big win on pay-per-view. What's wrong with that?
Why is everybody angry? This is an inspirational story. It should be triumph. Like, it should be trumpeted from the mountaintops of, like, a true story of perseverance.
Exactly.
Way too serious about the graps, Elliot. Too serious
about I know. It's like you said, it's like it was about a 4.5-hour show on Sunday, and if you can't have this ultra serious earnest stuff for 4.5 hours, it's too much.
This is too much. I need to laugh.
I don't have any problems with it. It's fine. But we'll move on to the WWE Tag Team Championship match. Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains versus Anderson and Gallows versus the champions, the New Day. The New Day retained and edged closer to Paul London and Brian Kendrick's tag team title record length reign. That came out weird. But they edged closer to making the history and breaking the record for the longest championship reign. It took me. I've had 2 hours sleep, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not judging. I've had 3. We're the most well-rested show on the internet.
Yeah, good times. What do you think of this match?
I was actually, honestly, I hate fatal 4-way matches. There's too many people in the ring, and I get confused easily. But I really liked this match. I thought it was a good way to kick off the pay-per-view. And I was actually surprised that the New Day walked out with the titles. I didn't think they were going to
really? I'm sure you predicted last week on the show that New Day were going to win.
Yeah, but that's because I'm a hopeless New Day mark, and I'll just say New Day no matter what. You could be like, New Day against the whole roster. I'll be like, New Day.
Hey, it was fine. It was a good opener. It was fun.
But the way
there's a lot of missed.
The way they're pushing the record, it kind of like clued me into like, okay, I think maybe the New Day might walk out with the titles.
Yeah, the ending though suggested that they were going to run the program against Anderson and Gallows with Gallows and Anderson hitting the Magic Killer on Aiden English, and then essentially Kofi Kingston stealing the pin.
Yeah.
On Aiden English. Next night on Raw, that appeared not to be the case, and the program looked like it's going to be New Day versus the Wyatts, which I mean,
did you see Xavier Woods' face?
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
What was that about?
Yeah.
Why was he so scared?
I thought he was possessed.
Yeah, well, yeah, possessed / like, what's going on? Is he going to join? Is he going to join the Wyatts?
It seems like a really odd direction to go with this, and I saw a lot of people were really excited about Bray Wyatt being back, but
yeah, one of them not being Michael Cole is when they announced it on commentary. He basically just like glossed over it. It was really like, did you catch that? Like they were like when the camera was actually on, like the commentators. Cole was listing things that were coming up, and then he's like, and Bray Wyatt's in the ring next, and then immediately just went into something else. Like no enthusiasm, no like, hey, Bray Wyatt's been gone for a while, and now he's coming back. Nope, Bray Wyatt's up next, and boom, off to the next thing.
That's the thing. I mean, with this, it helps the New Day, I guess, and it probably helps the family. It doesn't help Bray Wyatt, I don't think, putting him in with the New Day. I really think it's... I would go as far as saying it's a travesty for him with his character and his ability to just turn up whenever, and the way that they push him. It seems like an odd direction for him to be going. I mean, sure, Rowan and Strowman, whatever, get them in. That's fine against the New Day. But for Bray Wyatt, it seems like a bit below where it should be. I mean, that's no slight on the New Day, but
I just felt like for a group that's been gone for quite a while now, like a couple weeks, if not months, it's such an anticlimactic return. Like he got maybe 5-6 words into his return promo and he got interrupted right away.
Yeah. It's
very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I'm not. I think this program it could either be really good or it could bum real hard. And judging from last night, I feel like it's probably going to bum real hard.
Yeah, I don't like as much because I liked the pairing of New Day with the Club. I thought like New Day's like super like not comic but like cartoon character personas with the Club's super serious personas. There was that clash there, and I thought you could do stuff with that. But this is like weird versus colorful and happy, and the clash is not doing it for me so far. But like it was a quick segment, so. I'll give it a couple
early days.
What a great time to be alive.
Well, maybe.
Unless you're Roman Reigns.
Bad times. He's getting shouted at right now.
Yeah.
Somebody right now is shouting at him. And it's probably Vince McMahon. We can talk about Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler.
All right.
It was a match.
It certainly was.
It was.
I'm glad he won.
Yeah. Obviously, Corbin is the one with the most upward mobility there, and I feel like he's kind of already getting the Roman Reigns resenting him, like Roman Reigns with the fans resenting him because he's a big guy who's getting pushed for being a big guy type of deal. Fans were chanting boring. Not into this match whatsoever. I think Dolph Ziggler Dolph Ziggler saved a count out at 9 and people were booing Dolph Ziggler because they just wanted this goddamn feud to end.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, since his debut, it's been Corbin and Ziggler. And
yeah, he's not really. I mean, he's had a couple of matches, a couple of squash matches, but I mean, he's been on the roster now since after at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, yeah.
I mean, we're six weeks removed from WrestleMania, maybe even a bit longer, and it's still the same feud. And no one was really into it to begin with. I feel like it's easy to go retrospectively book things, but Corbin should have squashed Ziggler in the first match and moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
Swiftly.
If Ziggler wants a rematch, give him the rematch, but have him lose it again. None of this like 50-50 month. Let's move on.
Well, I think like my main thing with Corbin is that he does for a big guy, he doesn't do power moves. And during his heat segments in his matches, it's a lot of side headlocks and a lot of like working a limb, or that's pretty much what he does. And with the other matches that are on the card, a guy doing that is going to stick out like a sore thumb, and people are gonna rebel against that straight away. And I feel like if Corbin's gonna really stand a chance of being anything big in the WWE, they need to change the way they book his matches.
Definitely.
He's a big guy and he's bigger than most of the people on the roster, and he should be dominating people, but he's not, and he's not getting over with the booking him, taking a load of offense from a guy like Dolph Ziggler. They need to reassess where they're going with this, because it's only going to garner resentment and nobody's going to like these matches, and it's not going to go well.
No, he needs to start dominating, and he needs to start going on a tear, and because he has the character, he's naturally unlikable. Like you just look at him, and you're just like, I don't like him. But you know,
I really like him.
He reminds me a lot of myself, so I love him.
I love him. Like when on Breaking Ground, when Mojo Rawley was being hyped around him, and he was just looking at him like, "You fuck off, Mojo Rawley. I don't want to talk to you."
Exactly.
He's like, that's exactly how I feel like with Mojo Rawley. I love this guy, man. Yeah. And the funny thing is, though, I mean, on the Download NXT shows, he went over because of it. I think it was really because of a deficiency on the heel side of things in NXT's main events.
Right.
We worked the Download shows, and people really liked him at those shows. It was a star, and I mean, maybe some of that is that he's gone up to the main roster and he's kind of on a different level than the NXT guys. Maybe that's the reason why. But I know people liked him. People don't like him on the main roster. But I don't think we should write him off too soon. I think he's a guy who's got a lot of upward mobility. And
yeah, definitely tremendous upside.
Yeah. He should be a guy in a few years' time who's really, well, in a couple of years' time, who's challenging in the main event, possibly even world champion. I think out of all the NXT guys, realistically, I know you probably hate me for saying this with Kevin Owens, but realistically, I think Baron Corbin's probably got the best chance of becoming the WWE champion before anyone else.
I'm choosing to
class of NXT guys.
I'm choosing to ignore you because you're probably right and it upsets me.
Well, the women, God, the women. Oh my! Like we've both defended this for so long, but it's bad. Charlotte's bad. Dana Brooke's not good.
We've been
is okay. Becky Lynch is really fucking good, but they're not pushing her for whatever reason. I mean,
Becky Lynch annoys me so much. I can't stand her.
Yeah. I get that because the puns and whatnot, but I feel like
good puns. They're not good puns.
They're terrible puns. But the thing is, like, I really enjoyed the promo that she cut on Raw. I thought that was an impassioned promo about none of the women having a back in WWE. I thought it was...
The only thing I took away from that, I'm like, you got backstabbed 3 times. Maybe you should take a hint, you fucking moron. Like, be better at choosing your friends.
Yeah, but I mean, I did call this was going to happen, that Natalya was going to turn on Becky Lynch, but I mean...
Did you?
I did.
It caught me way off guard. I was like, finally, I'm excited about something, but it's just gonna, like I was completely, it completely got me. I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah.
You're just a wise man of the graps. Future.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do something, and I mean the rumor was after the fact was that they were planning on turning Becky Lynch on Natalya, which. That wouldn't have ended well. That would have been a bad choice. That would have been a real bad call. But
yeah, definitely.
They went the right way here. I mean, the Charlotte and Dana Brooke won the match. It was a match with Charlotte in. None of the matches are particularly good, I don't think.
Nope. The job as she was doing, like with the promo.
She was getting a good heat. She was getting good heat for being associated with Ric Flair, and it was the juxtaposition that we've talked about quite a lot here. That exactly. the new era of women's wrestling.
Ever since it's become just about the women, it's been like, no offense, but it's been awful. It's been ever since Rick has been gone.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really not good. And then they won the match. Natalya turned on Becky. Next night on Raw, Charlotte versus Paige. And again, it started off okay, but by the end, this match is horrible. It was a horrible match. And Dana Brooke, she had one job, and she fucked it up in a big way. It's just like Ric Flair wouldn't have done that. No way.
It was so bad. Like, how hard is it to put someone's foot, like, and then I loved on she put it under the rope. She put it under the rope. And it's just like, and like the ref is looking right at her do it. Isn't that a DQ? Like, I don't know. It's so fucking stupid.
No, it's bad. And then Sasha Banks returned just like she did at the Royal Rumble, and I guess this was the program that they were heading towards after WrestleMania. It was pretty clear that was the way that they were going to go heading into the summer. But it's not something that excites me anymore. I thought they had a plan with keeping Sasha Banks off television in the sense that I know she had a concussion and she had a couple of niggly injuries, but I felt they was keeping her off to get the We Want Sasha chance. And I mean, we got a few of them here and there, but it wasn't anything as demanding as you'd hope it to be.
No, I was still
she came back, she punched Dana Brooke in the face, laid out Charlotte, coming for the championship. It was the same formula as what happened at the Royal Rumble when Charlotte just beat Becky Lynch. And
yeah, but I like Sasha Banks, so I was happy. I was happy to see her back. I've been saying for weeks, like, where is she? Where is she? And now I got her, so I don't have to ask anymore. I'm happy.
Well, she is back. Are you excited?
Sure. I mean, it's hard to get excited about this division, but I'm glad Sasha's back, so there's that. And I guess, like, we're getting another storyline. Like, it's not a great one, but at least the Natty and Becky Lynch thing is a different storyline.
I mean, let's see how long they go with it, because they don't have.
So at least
they don't have a good record of running two women's programs at the same time.
That's a very good point. Yeah, let's see which feud gets the 2-minute matches, and which feud gets the 5-minute matches.
Sheamus against Apollo, no follow up on Raw. It was a match. It was okay. It was very similar to the Corbin Ziggler match, but obviously babyface went over in the end. But he didn't really go over because he rolled him up, and like, if they wanted to put Apollo Crews there, why didn't they just have him beat Sheamus, like properly, clean in the middle of the ring?
Yeah, because for a guy as big as Apollo is, he's not tall, but he's big. A roll-up is almost a ridiculous way to win the match. Like, why don't you just punch him in the face? You're huge. Like, they're trying to build him up as this underdog, but if you look at him, he doesn't look like an underdog. He looks like someone who will cave your head in simply by thinking it.
Yeah. It was a weird way to put him over, because he didn't really put him over. No one got over. Sheamus didn't get over.
No, exactly. It was
Apollo Crews didn't get over. And then nothing on Raw. No follow up on it.
No, it was a match for the sake of having a match.
Yeah, and to be fair, they had a story there in place, and
they didn't even use it.
No, it's
I don't understand. Like, it's too bad, because both Apollo and Sheamus are much better than this. They deserve better. I still think Crews should be in NXT, though.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Way too bad.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the same for Daniel Brooke as well.
Yes, 100%.
Both of them should still be on NXT because they're simply not ready. And I mean, I think Daniel Brooke's got a lot of potential, but
not now.
No,
need some seasoning.
Yeah. And Baron, you could probably argue Baron Corbin's maybe called up a little bit too soon.
I agree. And then with the brand split, it's how many other people are going to be called up before they're ready.
Yeah. Well, they've got a lot of top. They've got some seasoned vets down in NXT. It's an interesting time.
That's true.
See where they go. John Cena versus AJ Styles. Something.
I really like this match.
Pay-per-view really turned down. I thought they had a great match, and I felt the story that they were telling, it was something new in the sense that John Cena was being out-wrestled, and the story was that AJ Styles was better than him.
Yeah.
But AJ Styles couldn't beat John Cena because he's not John Cena. And no matter what he did, he couldn't beat him. And I thought that was a great story to tell. It
was like a living, breathing metaphor in the ring for how Vince perceives the indies.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that
sure, their wrestling might be better, but they're still not better than us. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought it was a really great story to tell because I think that take Brock Lesnar out because I think that's the exception to the rule. But for a long time, this is the most anybody's ever got up on Cena, I would say.
yeah, I agree.
In the early stages, I mean, I think a couple of people commented on Twitter and that they felt John Cena looked a bit rusty, but I thought that was the story that they were telling, that John Cena wasn't as good as AJ Styles.
I don't think it's possible for Cena to look rusty. I just don't think. I just don't think it's doable. Like, he looked.
Well, I think the thing was that if that was the case, which maybe it was a little bit, that was part of the story that AJ Styles was better than him. And that sort of informed where they were going with that. AJ Styles picked up the victory after a magic killer from the club, which, again, a lot of people were really upset about this, but
nope.
I don't have a problem with this. This is absolutely fine. You get at least 2 more matches out of this finish.
Exactly. And as soon as this match was over, I said that was perfect. That's exactly how it should have gone. A lot of people wanted a clean AJ victory, but a clean AJ victory, where do you go from there after? It's like, okay, I beat you. I didn't need help. Storyline over. Now we get more matches out of these guys, and I have absolutely no problem with that.
No, exactly. It was the right thing to do, and maybe AJ does beat him clean in the end and prove that he is on the level of John Cena. Because with the brand split coming, you need new stars, and if AJ is a guy who beats John Cena clean, there you go. You've got a huge star, because barely anybody beats John Cena's clean. I mean, usually it's about one. Maybe he loses one time a year clean. I think he lost twice clean last year. And one time he was on his way out to film the TV series American Grit, wasn't it, against Alberto Del Rio, and they were obviously against Kevin Owens.
What was he? There we go. Yeah, when was the other time he lost clean last year? When was
Elimination Chamber last year?
My boy.
Great match.
My boy. Kevin
Owens. This was a great match. I really enjoyed this. The story was something unique. Really fantastic match.
Yeah, I like it. And it got the crowd back into the pay-per-view as well.
Big time. I think from here, the pay-per-view got a lot better. I thought, I wouldn't say there was anything bad up until that point, but the women's match was bad. But
it was flat or bad. Like, just nobody cared, or it was just straight up bad.
I mean, the tag match was good fun for what it was. Corbin Ziggler was okay. Sheamus Apollo Crews was okay.
Like, if you go by fan reaction, I felt they were hot for the tag match, and then they were asleep for the 3 other matches, the Apollo Crews, and then Apollo Crews and Sheamus, and then Ziggler, Corbin, then the women's title match, and then they came back for this one, and throughout the night, it kind of stayed up.
Yeah. Money in the Bank ladder match next. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Alberto Del Rio versus Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro.
The beginning of
one of the stories to emerge from this was that Del Rio got the dreaded X symbol thrown up, and he left the arena with assistance.
Did he?
I didn't know that. Night in hospital, according to PW Insider. So I thought Del Rio was really good here. He took a lot of bumps and was involved in a lot of stuff that I wasn't particularly expecting him to be involved in, given what he's been like since his return.
Exactly.
I think he's been apathetic at the best of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was good. He was good here. It was a good match. I felt with the ladder match and a multi-man ladder match, especially, it relies on a lot of the same tropes being repeated over and over again, like the teasing ladder climbs, everyone hits a big move kind of deal, and everyone lays down. Yeah, let's build the structure
with the ladders.
Yeah, I felt like they kind of, towards the end, they did a couple of unique things that I hadn't seen before with the...
Can we just talk 2 seconds about the Michinoku driver on the ladder from Zayn to Owens? That looked like it killed Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about that. That was pretty neat.
That looked fucking brutal. Like every time these two are in a ladder match, they have at least one spot where it looks like one guy kills the other guy, and this is going back to like Ring of Honor. Like it always happens. Like one guy looks like he's not going to walk out under his own power, and then they come back the very next night. Like I don't know how they do it. Honestly, that looked brutal. Man, the ladder right on his spine like that, and then he just chills out like a la Bray Wyatt, like just chilling doing a bridge. Oh my God.
Yeah, they had a ladder match in PWG, Kevin Steen versus El Generico, and they did the same spot. And I feel like a guy like Kevin Owens, who's got his finger on the sort of air quotes smart fan pulse, and Sami Zayn, you've got to being a prominent indie guy over the past 10 years, sort of aware of these things in fans and what they know, and I felt like it was a little bit of an homage to "Oh, look how far we've come" type of deal. And then might have done the same spot in the WrestleMania ladder match. I'm not sure. I don't really recall it.
But I don't think the ladder was standing up the way it was. Like it wasn't up on its side, like it was just lying flat. I don't think it was standing up on its side like that. But I could be wrong because I don't have the greatest memory.
No. There's a lot of wrestling, and I mean, you can't be expected to remember it all.
Exactly. It's the Graps overload.
Yeah. Dean Ambrose, he won the match, and I think we discussed this. Well, I certainly advocated Dean Ambrose winning. I think that he does have a lot of flaws.
Literally could have been anybody else, and I would have been happy.
He does have a lot of flaws, and as a wrestler, as a character, but he needed this more so than anybody else in this match.
Well, I'll agree he needed it more so than anybody else in this match. That I completely agree with. My pure hatred for him will never let me acknowledge that to 100%. Because I was really unhappy about this beginning of my nightmare right here, and it only got worse.
I believe you turned the show off at this point, was it?
It was right after. Yeah, it was not too long after that. I turned it off. I was tired and grumpy.
Don't worry, guys. He watched it. He did watch it in the end.
I watched in the end. Yeah, the next day when I had calmed down, I watched the main.
I mean, was you expecting him to cash in on the same night? I mean, he did say that, but I didn't really. During the match, I didn't feel like that was the way they were going.
The second he won the Money in the Bank, I was like, son of a bitch, he's gonna win the title tonight. And I thought to myself, I'm like, Rollins is gonna win, people are gonna be happy, and then Ambrose is gonna come down and he's gonna cash in, and then people are gonna be even happier for some reason because people are idiots.
I wrote that it was the first step in rehabbing his character, and by the end of the night, I think they did a good job of making Dean Ambrose a player again after some real bad booking over the past. Until
literally the first segment of Raw. Like before Raw technically even went on the air, he completely ruined any kind of credibility he may have gained.
He redeemed himself. He redeemed himself by the end of the night, I feel.
By the end of the night, I'll agree he had somewhat redeemed himself. I still hate him, and that's the best compliment I can give him right now. But by literally before the opening theme song to Raw, any of the credibility he won was out the window in my eyes. And we'll get to that, I'm sure. But yeah.
Yeah. We got a big dog versus big dog. Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. I thought this was a decent match, I thought, for what it was.
Actually,
he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a lot of people shitting on this, and my initial reaction was to shit on it. But man, I thought Rusev did some fine heel work in this match.
Yeah, I had no preconceived ideas that this was going to be a good match, but I was surprised that it turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
I think Titus O'Neil's a guy who doesn't really have. He doesn't have good matches. I'm not a fan of Titus O'Neil whatsoever. I think that he looks very sloppy.
Yeah,
he looks,
and the way he tosses people in the ring looks kind of dangerous.
He's got a really goofy voice as well, and I don't think that helps him.
That's true.
But yeah, good match. I mean, I saw a lot of people were perhaps anticipating that they were going to do a change here because of Father's Day.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
Realize. I know I didn't think that. Made the right choice, and then the next night they had a pull apart brawl on. No, Rusev fled, didn't they? But yeah, Titus O'Neil came back, attacked Rusev for his to gain vengeance for the comments he made about his family, and which I thought it was pretty well done. A little intense brawl, and I mean, it suggests the program's going to continue.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, at least it's got an extra layer now. He's not just fighting for the title; he's fighting for the honor of his family.
It was an interesting one because he said there was 3 people on this episode of Raw who mentioned wins and losses. John Cena mentioned wins and losses in his promo with AJ Styles. He said it's about WWE is about wins and losses, and then Titus O'Neil said that this was not about wins and losses anymore. And then Chris Jericho said that in his little backstage skit with Shane McMahon that wins and losses don't matter. Which I picked on it. I was like, it's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, and
yeah, exactly.
All these people, all these writers, and they're all putting their different ideas together. And I think I'm willing to give Titus O'Neil a bit of a pass on it because the story was obviously that he was looking to gain revenge on Rusev for the harmful words that he said about his family, and it wasn't about wins and losses. It was about gaining revenge, but still, you can't have somebody go out there in John Cena and be saying, "Oh, wins and losses are really important, and you beat me on Sunday, AJ, and for that, although you beat me with the assistance of the club, you still beat me." That type of thing, and then O'Neil say it doesn't matter, and then Jericho say it doesn't matter. It's just,
well, which one is it? Well, boys,
does it matter? Does it not matter? Who knows? Who knows?
I guess it depends who you're asking.
Yeah.
What food they're in at the moment.
Well, I think like you could probably argue that wins and losses don't matter because Dean Ambrose loses quite a lot. I mean, for a while he's been kept pretty strong going into Money in the Bank, but before he's lost to a lot of guys. I mean, before WrestleMania.
Well, that's my thing too. Like before he won the title, pretty much right up until he won the title, he's been calling Jericho out and getting his ass handed to him, and now he's your champion. Like that was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I guess he started.
But I mean, then you could argue like it doesn't matter. And then you could argue like it doesn't matter because they've managed it. He won the title, the briefcase, and then won the title, and he looks a lot better for it after winning 2 matches back to back, two very big matches. But it's like I mentioned earlier, it's rehabbed him.
I reluctantly agree. I'll agree with you, but it's under protest.
Main event time, and this was another great Roman Reigns match. And
shocking, eh? A good Roman Reigns match. What a
you can't wrestle chance.
Yeah.
You suck Roman chance.
Of course.
You're horseshit Roman. I don't like you.
Yep.
Like that type of thing. And once again, he had a great match. And yeah, you can argue as much as you want. Meltzer said that Seth Rollins carried the match, which I think is completely way off the mark. Stone Cold said that AJ carried Reigns in their feud. Again, I think that's way off the mark. What do you think of this match? Good. I really enjoyed this match.
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Like I thought these guys were gonna have a good match, and that's what they did. If I had to criticize it, I'd say it was a little bit long, but the action that was going on in the ring made up for like any kind of length issue that I might have had. Now, can we discuss real quickly how sick the spear counter into the pedigree was? Because I thought that was fucking awesome.
We'll get to that, but the story of the match was that Seth Rollins had returned. He made some big claims to the title and he was contested that he was the best and he never lost the title. So he was the champion in all but name, and he came back and he was humbled by Roman Reigns, who was put over as not being the same Roman Reigns as 1 year ago, 6-7 months ago when Rollins lost the title, due to an injury. And that was the story of the match, and I thought it was a great story to tell, that Rollins came back, no assistance from the Authority, and it kind of got him over as a babyface at the end. Which was an interesting way of going about things, and I felt it was a really good story to tell. Because I think we discussed it briefly in the chat before about a potential sort of Brock Lesnar squashing John Cena match, and I mean it wasn't to that extent, but for the most part of this match, early on in particular, Roman Reigns dominated Rollins.
Yeah, completely.
And by the end of it, he had to show heart, which is something that he never showed during his title reign. And he redesigned, he reclaimed, what was the other one? Rebuilt. He rebuilt, redesigned, and reclaimed, but he also redeemed himself.
The 4 R's.
The 4 R's. And he did it. He did so. He hit a brilliant pedigree off the spear, which was
that was sick. That was so sick. Like he caught Reigns' head with his thighs. Like I thought only hookers could do that. Like this, it was just like because I'd never seen anything like it before, and I always pop for things I've never seen before because I've never seen them before. That was a redundant sentence, but yeah, it was just. Goddamn, what a finish to an incredible match.
And then Roman Reigns kicked out, and then Rollins picked him up, pedigreed again, and pinned him clean in the middle of the ring.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, which I don't think a lot of people were expecting going into the match. Like I mentioned, he redeemed himself. He showed the heart that he had been absent from his run as champion. He didn't have the assistance of the Authority. He was using no underhanded tactics. He won a clean match, and he won a fair fight.
He fought his ass off, and he won.
And then Dean Ambrose's music hit, and Rollins is looking intently. His prime frame coming down the ramp, but he attacks him from behind with a briefcase shot to the head. Goes up to the referee, exclaims that he's cashing in, and he got back in the ring. Dirty deeds, and done. 1, 2, 3. All 3 Shield members held the title within 5 minutes. And another little bit of
a little factoid.
Yeah, this is a good one. You'll like this one, Eric.
Okay.
Roman Reigns pinned. Oh, sorry, I'll start again. Seth Rollins was the first member of the Shield to win the title. He pinned Roman Reigns for his first championship. Roman Reigns pinned Dean Ambrose for his first championship win at Survivor Series after the tournament, and Dean Ambrose pinned Seth Rollins for his first title win. How about that?
Did you look that up? Did you do a little investigative journalism for us?
I did.
Wow.
It was good. That is good. That's
very good. That's a good factoid. You should be working for .com. You do work for a .com.
I do work for a .com.
If you like insightful insights, because I'm redundant, into the wrestling world and into the world of independent graps, well, then you can check out kayfabetoday.com.
Yes.
There you go.
Top work.
Ben's not here to do the ad read, so we're on the fly here this week for your 7-hour podcast.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll probably end up talking about Roman Reigns' the suspension policy again to bookend the show. But this was Dean Ambrose's night, and it was set up.
It was the worst night of my life.
It was set up incredibly well for the Shield triple threat. Roman Reigns had a claim to the title as he deserved his rematch. Seth Rollins was cashed in on, and Dean Ambrose is the champion, which is, I mean, I don't think heading into the, well, obviously it's probably not going to happen now, it might happen, but heading into it, I mean, I don't think a lot of people would have expected Dean Ambrose to be walking into that triple threat champion.
No, definitely not. I certainly didn't. Maybe it's because I just was hoping that he would be one of the guys who cashed in and failed.
Yeah, he's a fall guy. He's been a fall guy for that.
So that's what I was thinking, though. Is he a transitional champion?
Well, again, I was going to put that to you at the end of after the finish the Raw notes. But
chemistry is so strong that we'll
talk about it now.
Okay.
Because
is he a placeholder? Is he just there?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think that with the brand split and the Money in the Bank, the single Money in the Bank, it is problematic in the sense that they kind of needed to get it done by the time the brand split happened, because otherwise you've got one briefcase and you've got two specific rosters. I mean, and you can have two different champions, and what's the rules of the Money in the Bank briefcase, because it happened before the brand split. So how does that fit in with the two separate shows? So I guess you could argue that they had to get this done quick, and they did get it done quick. But that kind of suggests that it may be with the two champions coming in. I think there's ways of, well, I don't know. It's all been thrown out the window now with Roman Reigns being suspended.
That's the thing.
But I mean, there's ways that they could have got a title on Rollins and Reigns, like a storyline title on both of them, and then you can draft them up after the triple threat before the triple threat match, can't you? Because the draft was going to be before it. So it's all out the window now. It's all redundant. Who knows what's going to happen? It was nobody has any idea what's going on with the brand split, and
that's the
this has cast further doubt over that brand split. Anyway, we'll round up with Roman Reigns at the end, because there's still some things to talk about in reference to the brand split. We got Dean Ambrose. You mentioned it earlier. He left his fucking title league work 2 years to claim, and he left it in the back of a camp.
You know, the ultimate prize, the reason why most people get into the wrestling business, and this fucktard forgets it in a cab less than 24 hours after he wins it. Credibility out the window.
To be fair, though, he said Andy looked like he hadn't been asleep for 24 hours. And as a guy who wasn't asleep for about 30 hours over Sunday and Monday, I could probably say that's something that could happen.
See, if it happened to you, I'd justify it. I like you. I don't like Ambrose, so fuck him. It was wrong.
He came out. He made a couple of goofy lines, his usual wacky stuff, and then he cut more of a serious promo about hard work paying off, and about how this has been something that he's been working towards for 2 years of his life. As soon as Seth Rollins turned on the Shield, this was something that he always wanted, but for whatever reason, it never happened for him. And I thought it turned out to be a pretty good promo. Roman Reigns came down. In the end, he challenged him to a brother versus brother, wasn't it? I'm your friend, you're my friend, so let me have a shot at your title, Seth Rollins. Didn't like that.
Sorry, what? Sorry, I weird cough there. Almost sounded like I was saying pussy.
Anyway, Seth Rollins didn't like the idea that Roman Reigns was going to get a shot before him, and rightfully so, because Rollins was the guy who was cashed in on.
I agree.
He came out, he made his case. Shane McMahon he came out and he said they were going to have a singles match for the right to face Dean Ambrose at Battleground in the main event of Raw, which they pushed it right from the beginning. Everyone knew this was going to be the main event. It's something that they do on and off, but it's a good way of booking their shows. It begs the question, though, in storyline, like, if this didn't happen, what would have been the main event of the show?
For Battleground?
No, for like, if all the Shield members didn't get in together in the ring and had this chat, and Shane McMahon didn't come and book the match, what did they have booked as the main event before that?
I have no idea.
Oh, you see, that's the questions that you should. They don't want you to ask those questions.
No, they don't. I'm just a blind sheep, Elliot. WWE says go right, and I go right, and I just okay. This looks fun.
Yeah. And then we got a second match in consecutive nights, and wasn't as good as the previous night's match for obvious reasons. Good match nonetheless. You can't wrestle Roman chants again, and
Ridiculous.
it's funny because every time they chant that, by the end of the match, in most cases, they're chanting "This is awesome," and it just boggles my mind. It really does. Really does.
I don't understand what are you basing this on?
What are you watching, guys? Because you're clearly not watching the same thing as I am. They're not watching the same thing as you are. I actually wanted the Revival as well. I can't remember which one. They're both very similar. One of them, anyway, from the NXT Tag Champions, tweeted that he made a comment on it. He said something like, "Yeah, you fans are real smart chanting you can't wrestle a guy who just had a match of the year contending with AJ Styles." It's like,
That's 100%
right, man. Too fucking right.
Yeah, 100% fact. Like his matches with Styles should just shut those chants up forever.
You'd have thought so, but they played him more so than ever after this. No one complaining about Dean Ambrose being pushed down the throats, which is...
Nope, not at all. That's just funny, isn't it?
Would you like to be the first?
Oh, I'd love to be the first. Because he's an idiot. He talks shit and loses, and now he's your champion. Great booking. But no, he's not. He doesn't have a rocket strapped to his back or anything like that. Of course not. Idiots.
Yeah, people... We won't get into it. It's a minefield. I don't want to do it because it'll just annoy me.
And you're gonna set me off, Elliot. You know what happens? You know what happens when I'm triggered.
Yeah, I do. Match finished in a double count out after Roman Reigns speared Rollins over the announce table. Shane McMahon came out. Dean Ambrose cut him off. Said that because he's a fighting champion and he has honor, he would fight both of them after each other. Shane McMahon shut him right down, told him, no, that's not happening. How about the Shield triple threat that everyone wants? And they announced that, and the crowd, I was expecting them to go a bit wilder than they did. They announced it, the crowd were into it to some extent. Did you think that?
Yeah,
or was that just me?
No, I thought they'd be hotter. I thought that the enthusiasm just wasn't at the pitch that I thought it would be. Like, because if you look on Twitter, people are losing their lives, losing their minds over this. Jesus, that was escalated quickly.
So excited they couldn't take it anymore.
This is too good, and then their head exploded. But like people are losing their minds over this, but the reaction from the crowd, I don't know. Live crowds are weird for Raw a lot of the times. It seems like that doesn't.
Yeah, it's a long show.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a long show.
Exactly. Got to work on Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They've been there for like 4 hours. Maybe it's difficult to get excited, but I expected them to be more into it. Shane McMahon announced that the main event of Battleground would be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus the champion Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose held his title proudly aloft over Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, who were fallen in the ring. And then Roman got up, tried to make a gesture of friendship. Dean Ambrose laid him the fuck out. Then he hightailed out there. He saw Seth Rollins looking to get in there and pick the bones. He went straight back down and laid him the fuck out as well with a dirty deeds to end the show standing tall. And that was the way that Dean Ambrose should have been booked like for the past, God knows, 8 years. Like, could you imagine if they'd have booked him like that for a year, how hot he would have been coming into this? Because I feel like, yeah, sure, a lot of people are really happy that he's won. He got the "You Deserve It" chance, and people are invested.
By the way, was insane. Cool yourselves with the fucking "You Deserve It" chance, okay? Relax.
Yeah.
A guy has to retire before he deserves that chant. Like, come on now. Sorry.
Yeah. What about if Kevin Owens had won it and cashed in the same night?
Oh, the "You Deserve It" chant should have been raining down upon him even before he won it. They should chant at him, "You deserve it," like he deserves life because he's that great. Like, people should just acknowledge how great he is every time. That would be completely acceptable because Kevin Owens is not winning the title anytime soon.
No.
I'm so crushed. I'm crushed, Elliot. My enthusiasm is waning, and I'm crushed.
Well, now there's a top spot available, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Kevin Owens clearly not on any performance-enhancing drugs.
Clearly, see? You never have to worry about Kevin Owens and steroids in the same sentence. Make him the face of your company, and your image will improve tenfold.
Well,
I need to be in that company. I need to run things. Put me head of creative. Fire all the writers. Put me on creative. It'll be Kevin Owens at the top, and everybody else just whatever. I'm a businessman.
I think that,
you don't even know where to go after that.
No, I am completely flabbergasted. I have no response for that. That's thrown me off guard. The Roman Reigns suspended has thrown me off guard. The lack of sleep has thrown me off guard.
It's been quite a Tuesday, Elliot.
Yeah, it has.
I don't know about you, but I'm taking a nap after all this news.
Yeah, a lot of news out today.
Too many scoops.
So where did WWE go with this now?
Can you have this triple threat build without Roman Reigns?
I don't think you can.
I don't think so either. So
it's public knowledge. It's not like he's going to be kept off screen due to an injury that has not been announced or for storyline purposes. It's public knowledge. Everyone knows that Roman Reigns has been suspended for violating the wellness policy.
Exactly.
Are they going to mention that on Raw? I mean,
I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised if they mentioned it on Raw.
I mean, what can they do? What realistically? I mean, I guess
they're gonna have to acknowledge.
I guess
to acknowledge that he's not there. So maybe they don't have a choice but to tell people what's going on, and they're gonna turn it into a segment. There's gonna be a segment on Raw that it's gonna explain to us where things are going from now. But because the thing is he'll be back in time. But you miss all that build. So if he comes back on time, you have him do something, maybe get involved in the match. Like have it be Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins and then have Reigns kind of insert himself and get involved. Maybe have him join the Authority and have him go full heel and kind of turn on.
Oh, this is an idea. They could.
Yeah,
into a storyline. They should turn it into a storyline, really, because Roman Reigns isn't going away. He's not going away, and he shouldn't go away because.
And the people that don't like Roman Reigns now have even more ammunition for reasons why you don't like him. So now is the perfect time where you take that fan hate, you take all this negative publicity, and you just go with it, and you make Reigns a complete fucking prick.
Yeah. I think and that's him aligning himself with the Authority. I know it's kind of not really in existence so much. since WrestleMania. But if he did, I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
No, it makes no sense
from the history with Triple H. But maybe they could explain it. Triple H could say, you know,
all the time I've been trying to fight the authority, and for you people to defend you people, and when I needed you the most, you guys let me down, and I realized that my only true friends are in fact the authority, and blah blah. We are stronger together than we are separated, but together we're going to take over. Blah. So look at that on the fly booking. Put me and you in charge of Raw. We got
this is. I mean,
if they don't capitalize on this, they are absolutely.
It's real bad publicity, but there are ways in which they can capitalize on this and turn it into a major angle. And I think
don't make it about the wellness policy. Just make it about Reigns. When Reigns was down, the only people that were really there for him weren't the fans, but was the authority. You know, they
and you can have Triple H bring him back and say, look, and he could come back and insert himself in the Battleground main event, go with Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins for the title, and then you can have Triple H come back and say, look, I hated the guy. I did everything I could to prevent him winning the title, but he did. He beat me. He beat me fair and square, clean in the middle of WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania main event in the history of WWE, and I endorse him.
Four words, Elliot. He earned my respect. There you go.
Yeah.
It makes everything in the wrestling world. It makes everything justifiable.
Yeah, it does. It's. Yeah, there's tons of possibilities where they can go with this, whether they decide to act on them or if Reigns is going to get punished on television. I can't imagine that that's going to be the case, considering that Titus O'Neil. I mean, they're way too invested in him, and I think
exactly
like I mentioned at the top of the show, it's a minor aberration in the bigger picture of things. He's going to have a long career, and they've invested so much in him at this stage. I mean. Yeah. Exactly. It's his first strike on the wellness policy. People have had strikes on the wellness policy before. There's ways you can navigate this and turn it into...
Randy Orton has so many X's on his wellness policy card. It looks like a fucking bowling... Like he's keeping track of his bowling score. Like, so I think... Like,
I thought you was going to say it looks like a porno.
Well, you know... I don't know what 6X is, but I don't think I want to find out. But no, like people can come back from these wellness policy violations. You know, it's not the end of his career. It's not doom and gloom. Does it suck? Yeah. Does it paint him in a particularly unflattering light? Of course. But they can capitalize on that. If you're gonna have someone who's hated, just fucking embrace it. That's what they did in the Attitude Era. Like, Jesus Christ, he could just be another Rock. Like maybe not as big as the Rock, but they could do a similar storyline, you know, die Roman die, and then one day he's the biggest babyface in the company. It could definitely happen.
Yeah, I hope they don't bring him back and he's like a humbled, more like apologetic, because I think they've got a big angle. Like,
no, I don't want to see any personal growth on television. No. Fuck that. That's not good TV. Like, if you watch all these, like, you know, like, what's that show? Intervention. The best part of that show isn't the actual intervention. It's watching the person ruin their life. That's the entertaining part. We don't want to see any fucking personal growth on television. Get out of here. Roman has to come back with a chip on his shoulder, and he has to be a prick to people. Boom. That's Broski's take on this. I agree with that. I mean, it's been an hour and a half or so now, and we've had time to digest it, and this is what we've come up with. Yeah,
it should be turned into a storyline, and if it is, I think it's a huge angle, and a lot of people are gonna be, well, like we've said numerous times, they're vindicated in their hatred towards Roman now. They have a reason, like an actual reason, not that he doesn't wrestle and always kicks out of Styles Clash, or he always whatever. Didn't work any indie dates, blah blah blah, whatever. Like now they have an actual reason, and they could They've got to capitalize on this and make the best of a bad situation, because it is a real bad situation PR-wise with the positions they've been putting him in. And I think it shows a lot that WWE have taken, have not allowed him to get away with this or attempted to cover it up in any ways. It's good for WWE from a PR perspective in that sense, that they've managed, that they have shown that no nonsense approach to the wellness policy. It's there, and everyone must abide by it. And if you're a top guy and you don't, you're going to get suspended.
Well, that's what I meant earlier by I said like they're making, using him as kind of an example, because it's not like it's, without any disrespect, but it's not like it's Adam Rose. This is a top guy involved in major, if not the main storyline. And it was a brilliant PR move by Reigns to just come out and say, yep, I fucked up. I own it. Like, that's 100% PR. But it's smart. And when people do fucked up things or stupid things like this, I think it's best to just come out and say, yep, own it. Just, yeah, I messed up. I'm not perfect. I apologize, and I'll be back. But you have to come back with a chip on your shoulder. Since me and Roman hung out on the weekend, sorry guys for the wellness policy violation, but I'll give him a quick call after, and I'll be like, look, I got some creative for you. I got some creative for you, Romy. Let me hook up. Let me give you some real talk real quick, and then we'll see what happens. Because if you watched last week, if you listened last week, I asked for Big Johnny on Raw, and what do we get? We got Big Johnny on Raw. So WWE's listening. They get their scoops from kayfabetoday.com.
They get their booking ideas, and in a month's time, when Roman Reigns comes back and is the most hated guy in the company and aligns himself with Triple H, who, after earning his respect,
you heard it here first,
will know for a fact that WWE listens.
And I'll be expecting. And listen, head of creative listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to be expecting a fat check with my name, and one for my co-host today, one for Elliot too, for inspiring this discussion right now. All right, fat checks, lots of zeros.
Well, I think since Raw ended on Dean Ambrose, I will end on Dean Ambrose.
Yay.
We discussed that he does have some flaws as a worker, and
at length,
he has a lot of flaws as a worker, and I would say, without a shadow of doubt, that he is the least capable to have a big main event match out of the members of the Shield. Roman Reigns has proven it. I think you could argue Rollins has proven it. The way they booked him for a lot of his run, it was bad, but he had some really great matches with Cena. The Brock Lesnar and Cena match at Royal Rumble. Help me out. Have I named them all?
You've hit the big ones, so let's just
go. He had some great matches when he was given a chance to shine and delivered in a big way. I think that what I want to ask and what I want to discuss to finish this is, can Dean Ambrose step up his matches biggest and to take over where Roman Reigns left off? Because Roman's been having some great matches recently.
Well, the thing with Ambrose is it's 95% of the reason why I don't like him is because of his character. Well, no, that's not fair. 80% of why I don't like him is because of his character, and 20% is because of his work. He needs to slow down, except when he does like a suicide dive.
Speed up.
Yeah, speed it up for that. Like, slow everything else down, but speed up your suicide dive.
I saw
fucking bored.
I saw Ricochet tweet. Obviously, Ricochet is one of the premier high flyers in the world, and I'm sure it was throwing shade on Dean Ambrose. He said that he's tweeted something along the lines of, if you're going to do a suicide dive, guys, run really fast, otherwise it looks like shit. And I thought, there's no way that's not shade thrown. That is shade being thrown. Right?
100%, because I think we've brought that up too at some point.
Yeah, we've discussed it a lot of times.
Yeah. But like I said, like 80% of why I don't like him is because of his goofy, dumb, stupid fucking character. It just comes off as goofy. And if you're going to be taken seriously as a top guy, like it's just to me, there's not that big, like in terms of character, there's not that big a difference between Dean Ambrose and Santino Marella. Like they're both goofy, dumb idiots who get put on in these like skit segments, and they're not funny, and they upset me, and I feel personally offended by it because I'm spending my valuable broski time watching their shit product. But that being said, the Dean Ambrose at the end of Raw where he looks angry and he's not like, he doesn't look like, he was awful on commentary, but the last very bit of him taking out Rollins and then taking out Reigns and then taking out Rollins, that is okay. That I find that's fine. He needs to be more aggressive, less goofy, more serious, less of an idiot, and he'll be fine. So there is potential there, but we haven't seen it in so long that I forget because my memory is terrible.
Yeah,
still, like
it's not had the like great singles matches that the other two members of the Shield have had.
Exactly.
He's had good matches. He's had good matches with Kevin Owens. He had a good match with Bray Wyatt. He's had good matches with Rollins as well.
But his ladder match with Rollins was all right.
Yeah, it went a long time. It went a long time. He's had good matches, but he hasn't had the great matches that the other two have had. And I think that if the character flaws aside, I think that he needs to step up in the ring as well, because you're a main eventer now. People before you were having these blow away main events, which a legitimate match of the year candidates, and Ambrose has never been a guy over the past 2 years who's been able to deliver that match. Sure, he's not been put in the positions that Rollins and Reigns has necessarily, but still, even when Reigns was down the card against Bray Wyatt, Big Show type of thing, he was having some really good matches, some damn good matches.
Yeah, he's been he's had a series of really, really good matches and getting good matches out of guys you wouldn't expect him to get good matches out of.
Yeah, exactly.
That hasn't been done with Ambrose yet. So to me, he's just not on the same level as Reigns and Rollins. And that's my main issue right now, is a couple weeks ago, Ambrose was calling out Jericho and getting beat up, and now he's your champion. Whereas, Rollins was injured, so he gets a bye. But Reigns was having match of the year candidates with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, I can legitimately buy Reigns as a top guy because I've seen some top guy work. We haven't seen that from Dean Ambrose, in my opinion. So
no, I completely agree with you. I think that's, for me, I think that some of the goofy stuff that he does, I can overlook so long as his character is predominantly serious.
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin had some funny moments, and that's fine. I'm not saying he has to be Mr. Tough Guy serious all the time, but
yeah, it's about balancing that. It's about balancing that character, and then for me, what I want to see from him is some blow-away main events, because I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know if he can continue where Reigns has left off in the quality that he's putting out in the main events. I mean, put him in with top guys and he's going to have good matches, but I'm just struggling to buy into.
I'd really like to see him pull out a great match with someone you wouldn't expect him to, just like Reigns did with Big Show.
Yeah.
Remember, I can't remember what pay-per-view it was from because I'm awful with
Extreme Rules 2015.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even have a time to say I can't remember when it was, and you're always like blah 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 blah. Encyclopedia Elliot. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like he got an amazing match out of the Big Show in 2015. No small feat.
No.
You know, and I'd like to see Ambrose do something like that to kind of legitimize himself for becoming a champion. This is far too rational for my taste. Ambrose a fucking idiot. There we go. I feel better now.
Oh, no. And on that platform.
On a illustrious note.
Yeah, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground there. And
I think we did all right.
And yeah, I think that it's fascinating to see where WWE go from here. Because they have the huge angle, and now there's a lot of doubt over that angle at the moment. We'll see.
As much storyline as there was to deal with when we woke up this morning, there's even more storyline in the real world to deal with now that this news is broken.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible.
It could honestly go for hours about
amazing. It's wow.
But I think we did some, for the amount of time we had to deal with it. I think we've gotten to some pretty good ideas as far as where they can go from. So, like I said, WWE, when you use our ideas, I'll be expecting a big fat check. You can slide into my DMs. I'll give you all the deets. Did the kids still say deets, or did I just date myself?
No, you just dated yourself there. No one says that.
Ben, edit that out. He's gonna leave that in.
Yeah. You can catch us on Twitter at Kayfabe Today. You can catch me on Twitter at Specific Luchador. You can visit the website at www.kayfabetoday.com. We've got some really awesome stuff going out on there. Everyone's doing a great job. So definitely check it out.
I love the look of the website.
Yeah, the website looks great.
Shout out to Drew at Drew Ortman. Did some fine work with the design of the website and the layout.
Eric,
yes,
you have some places to pimp.
Oh, you know me, Elliot. I don't like to talk about myself too much, so I'll just do it. I can't even finish that sentence.
It's funny, it's remarkable, like, because you turned Roman Reigns getting suspended into it being about you.
Well, yeah. I made up my own song. I've got a YouTube video coming out about it soon. It's one man's tragedy is another man's views. And where can we find you, Eric? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can find me at youtube.com/firstthinginthemorningshow. Raw reactions every Tuesday morning, and then I do some gaming episodes for the weekend. It's good fun. I enjoy it. You can follow me on Twitter at MTLBroski. And just because Ben isn't here, you can email me at mtlbroski28@gmail.com. I don't know why you would email me in 2016, but Ben is obsessed with getting my personal information out there. So there you go.
This podcast is going to be out on Vox Populist on Twitter and voxpopulist.com.
And me and Ben have a secret project that's going to be out on voxpopulist.com as well. So keep an eye out for that.
I keep hearing about it. I am intrigued.
You know about it, Elliot. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
No, I don't. It's work. I don't know. I have no idea. Please rate and review on iTunes. Subscribe if you would like to hear our weekly discussions about the last 7 days in professional wrestling, and leave a comment if you agree and/or disagree with what is coming out of our mouths. That's something that Ben wrote. I quoted Ben.
That sounds like Ben.
Until next week, guys, it's been a pleasure. Goodbye for now. Bye, Eric.
Bye, Elliot.